attention tuning in here, and y'all know who I am. Y'all know what I do, basically, and what we're going to be covering today is 2 Huntress videos. Also, I wanted to talk to you guys about something. So I'm going to be definitely streaming some more Bloodborne at the request of one of the subs and a friend of mine. And I'm also going to try and stream some Evil Within. So hopefully we can definitely get those in there. With Bloodborne, I'll probably be doing more PvP runs and stuff like that for you guys. That being said, I am so late on the commentary in this video. So I saw somebody run past here. That's a free hit. He's going to the pallet. I don't want to let it fly yet. Not yet. No. So there's nothing I can really say. Nowadays, I'm really enjoying Huntress again and getting back into this one. I'm trying to get back into Nurse so that we can get some more Nurse gameplay up on the channel for y'all. It's just been a little bit difficult as, you know, muscle memory Nurse things doesn't generate out. Which I do not mind if you guys want me to upload the Nurse game where everybody escaped. I can explain to you the play-by-play and what I was trying to do. But that's only at the request. So we got somebody who came out of a locker here. I did not mean to let that fly, but okay. I managed to get her. Yeah, it's a bad idea to hide in lockers versus Huntress just because she might possibly have the locker perk, which is Iron Maiden. She searched lockers 50% faster, and survivors hiding in lockers, once they come out of a locker, their location is revealed for 3 seconds, and they get afflicted with the exposed status effect for 15 seconds, I believe. So yeah, definitely not a good idea to hide in a locker versus Huntress. Which, I mean, you don't want to hide in a locker versus Huntress anyway, unless you're playing with a Survivor Friends group. Oh, I missed that. I shouldn't have let that fly so let's see if we can get this one. There's no mine right here, because the pallet is gone. Okay, 360 attempts. So, this is going to go towards the... For a second, I thought he was going to fake going to the killer shack so that he could go around to the right side of the window, which would have been the better idea, because he would have had much more of a chance to escape the free hatchet, but he was caught in between a pallet and the doorway. He really couldn't do anything about that. Alright, so this Dwight is the cocky survivor on this team. So we're gonna try to ignore him for the most part in his antics, as you would want to, versus arrogant survivors. We're just gonna play the game as normal. When you're dealing, when you're dealing with cocky and arrogant survivors, you have to learn to you have to learn patience and self-control. That's the first thing, because they can be irritating to deal with. Second thing that you have to learn is to play the game and take your hits where you can, and this comes from not letting them do things that waste your time, like 360s, which can force you to whiff, which is recovery time, which is also time that you're wasting. Let it fly. There we go. Good trick with Huntress is if you got a survivor trying to juke the hatchet, make sure to keep the hatchet held for a short duration of time until you can figure out which way the survivor wants to go. If you think that you can get a clear read, then yes, let your hatchet fly. But if you don't think that you can get the clear read, then it's worth just storing your hatchet back to neutral animation and then just going with the regular chase. I did not mean to let that fly. Yeah, she's gonna go out the window. She's gonna go around. Yeah, I don't want to entertain that move for too long. Huntress's movement speed is 115%. Or no, it's 110 actually. 115 I believe is regular killer speed. I don't know what you thought. So that's another thing too. Survivors are more prone to rushing hook saves in front of Huntress, even after she whiffs a hatchet or a regular R2. And for most killers who whiff that R2, I don't know why that would, but for most killers that whiff that R2, that is a free hook save. But if Huntress whiffs a hatchet, that is not a free hook save because of how fast that she recovers. There we go. That's the mind game that I was talking about. And just let the hatchet fly. They should be picking up kills soon. Yep. And they spent most of the game looking for my ruin. Nice job. I don't know what was the point of you going into the locker. You didn't just come off of the hook, so you don't have DS, not active anyway, so I don't understand why you took the locker, but that's a free hook, I guess. Alright, can we... Nah, she ran to the bus. Yeah, it was worth a try, you know. You have to attempt the long shots every now and again. I don't want to tunnel her. Okay, she's gonna keep running, that's fine. That palette is only mind gameable when you're playing against short killers like Freddy, Ghostface, Pig, for the most part, and Hag, because the survivors have no line of sight with the killer. So it becomes a mind gameable palette, but versus taller killers, it's a safe palette. At least in my opinion, that's a safe palette. And I don't know if other people would agree with that or not. Oh, this is Meg. Why did the build disconnect? Oh, I was so close. I was so close to getting that shot. That's okay though. We still got the down. We still get the free hook. But yeah, I don't understand why the build disconnected. There's another game that I have to show you guys too, where I played as Huntress and all 4 survivors just gave up on the hook for no apparent reason. I don't know why. I thought I could get the hatchet to fly over the window because I knew that the Dwight was gonna vault it. It's not a good idea. So that situation is a situation where if they take the window vault and the hatchet lifts, then they have to run off the doorway, and even then that still guarantees me a hit unless they have an unsafe pallet nearby. And since they don't have a generator done, I'm not under pressure, which means that I have the right to entertain any loops that I want to. And she messed up thinking I was gonna ready up a hatchet. That brings me to like one of the 4th or 5th things that you, as a Huntress player, should be aware of when you're playing against survivors. Most survivors, and this is even true for Survivor Friends, even at high level, they don't keep track of how many hatchets the killer has. At least the Huntress player has. Not unless it's an iridescent head. They'll count like 1, 2, 3. Oh, it's iridescent head with the belt add-on. But they don't necessarily count like how many hatchets that she has left. And against a regular 4-man where everybody is surviving solo-wise, it's difficult to keep track of how many hatchets she has and you don't know. So it's not, there's not much, what's the best way to word it? it's too risky to fake pallets and windows sometimes if you don't know how many hatchets that she has. And if you do know how many hatchets that she has, then it's worth trying to fake it. But you can mitigate that risk by saying, I know how many hatchets that you have and I've been keeping track. So if you know that she has 0 hatchets, it's safe to run to the pallet and immediately throw it down if she's behind you. But then if you know for a fact that she's going to ready up a hatchet, then you can say, okay, well, I'm going to just fake the window vault or the pallet vault or the pallet loop. Basically, you're going to fake the play. I thought I could get it. I was just a little bit off axis. That sucks. Like I said, don't be afraid to attempt long-range shots. You know, I'm not scared of attempting every now and again, especially when I'm not losing time. And this Dwight player is getting super cocky. Like, he's playing super cocky, so that's another thing that we have to deal with. And I was going to take the window and go around. I don't know why he assumed that I was going to moonwalk here. This building, this structure isn't mind gameable whatsoever. If you're playing a survivor and you're ever on this map with this specific structure in mind on Autohaven Wreckers, take note that this structure has no mind game. There's 2 unsafe pallets and then 1 safe pallet all surrounding this structure. Actually, it can spawn 3 safe pallets that connect to the structure itself. And this is what I mean by playing Survivor is a little bit on the easy side, because you can't mind game these 3 safe pallets whatsoever, which means that in actuality, if you're playing against like a good or really solid survivor, this structure by itself is worth I believe 12 loops, 3 loops per pallet, 369, and then 1 to 2 loops per window. So yeah, 12 loops, and that means that basically means that there's no counterplay to that structure at all. You have to, if you're playing a killer that can't do anything about the structure, you have to leave it. You just have to leave it alone and go somewhere else and find another survivor. And that basically means that they get a free generator off of this map, guaranteed. Now, if you're playing like Nurse or Spirit, then it's a little bit easier. But if you're playing any other killer aside from those 2, like let's say Trapper or Hag, then trapping this, then structure just becomes an entire mind game for the killer to possibly win. So with the exception of Nurse, Spirit, Trapper, or Hag, yeah, you're going to get that for free. I'm not even going to entertain that. But with the exception of those 4 killers that I just named, this structure is unmind gameable. Basically, it's just a safe structure that wastes a lot of time. 12 loops. Oh yeah, we're in the next game. And as I was saying before, it's 12 loops, and I believe for every 2 loops, that's 30 seconds, if I'm keeping track correctly. So that's about 3.5 to 4 minutes worth of a loop off of 1 single solid or smart survivor with that structure in the last game. It's not worth it. They get a free generator and just free everything. Basically, they get a free gen, which means free pressure. Is there 2 survivors over here, or is it just 1? Oh, there you are. No, there's 2. Yeah, Steve is on the other side, I thought. I don't think I'm gonna get this. Yeah, I hesitated too long. I should have threw it at the corner. So he got that for free. I don't know why he's going back into me. I'm gonna play a slug game real quick and check on the generator back here. There was somebody back here. There was. I know there was. Maybe I'm imagining things, but that generator started a little bit, and I thought I saw scratch marks fading, which meant that someone was back there. Oh well, I'll take the hook here then, I guess. So barbecue and chili, we see that person, and we see another person back here. Oh, that's 2 people. Okay, so yeah, I was right. Steve was over there, at least when the chase first started with Ace. I think you messed up here. Do you have Dead Hard? No, you don't. Okay, yeah, you messed up bad. So, I know this set of perks isn't really a super great set of perks to run. I'm gonna reload my hatchets and then I'm gonna check the other locker to see if she's hiding in there. Nope, we're good. So I know this set of perks isn't really a good set of perks to run together. They're just a decent set of perks. But there's something that I do love about this perk set on Huntress that doesn't really work on other killers. With the exception of possibly Clown. But even then, you know, Clown doesn't have a reason to search lockers like Huntress does. I'm gonna go after this David over here. I'm gonna let the Ace go since he just came off of the hook. I'm gonna play around DS. So a best way to counter a killer using barbecue and chili, which says that when you hook a survivor, you get to see all other survivors' auras outside a 32-meter range for 5 seconds, I believe, and you get like extra blood points up to a stack of 100% for each one survivor that you hook for the first time in their hook. So yeah, so the best way to counter barbecue and chili, at least when it comes to the aura effect, is, I can't believe he thought I wouldn't see him, but that's neither here nor there, is you can hide in a locker to hide your aura from the killer, right? I could have punished him with a hatchet, but I didn't want to. But yeah, you can hide your aura by jumping into a locker or hiding safely inside of a locker and count the 5-second duration so that your aura doesn't get seen and then come out after that survivor has been hooked. Now, when you're playing against Huntress and she's specifically using Iron Maiden, which is a perk that you can get on the Legion, by the way, for any of you that didn't know, it's a Legion perk. It is kind of is counterintuitive, because if a survivor hides in a locker to hide their aura from being revealed to the killer through barbecue and chili, they're going to jump out the locker, and the minute they come out the locker, Iron Maiden is going to call out their location for you, as well as give them an exposed status effect. So they're taking a big risk going into a locker than coming out. Now, it's, of course, there's different situations, like let's say another survivor is all the way on the opposite side of the map, or so on and so forth. I don't know why he gave up on the hook and he was only on the second hook, but that's whatever. I heard you drop down. I heard you. Nice. Yeah, I shouldn't have let that fly, but that's okay. I kind of got time to kill because she's not, because they haven't got the first generator done yet. If you ever see me in these games where they haven't got the first generator done and I've gotten multiple hooks, you're going to hear me say that a lot. Like, I got plenty of time, because it's true. I have plenty of time to do whatever I want if they haven't got that first generator done. And because there's one person dead, another person that's dead on hook, and another person that's been hooked, and then another person that's on their second hook, because there's been so many hooks, I have nothing but time. So the pressure is on them, it's not on me. And she copied herself off of the hook, which is good, because her teammates don't have to worry about having to waste time to save her, but it's also bad because she just neglected them 3 points. At a time like this, yeah, I would definitely use the Kobe perk. Give me a second to remember it. It's called, there she goes again. What is the name of the perk? Okay, so I was trying to get him I was trying to get the hatchet over the generator because if I did, then his hitbox being extended would have got hit by the hatchet, but it kept hitting the generator and I couldn't get the distance correct. It's okay though. That wasn't a smart decision if you didn't have balanced landing. What's the name of that perk? It's a perk on Adam Francis, I know that, and it's called oh man, I can't think of it right now. I just can't. I did not mean to let that fly. That should have hit him, but he took a risk by jumping off of the ledge there. What is the name of that perk? So I know Diversion is the Pebble, but then there's a name for the Kobe perk that I can't remember. There's Diversion, there's Autodidact, and for Adam Francis, and then that last perk is getting me, like, because even though I don't have the character, I still remember their perks. What's the name of it? She gave up. She knew she was dead. Wow, I am sorry guys, I cannot remember. I really can't. Yeah, I can't remember the name of the perk to save my life. I just know that it's a perk off of Adam Francis, and the perk's description says that you can jump yourself off of the hook if you haven't been hooked, as long as you've saved at least one person before that. So it's like the requirements is that you have to save somebody before you get hooked, and then you have to be hooked for the first time in order to use it. And it's a one-time use only perk. That's like, I know the description of the perk and everything, I just can't remember the name. Alright, before we get started on Hag's game, let me explain the build a little bit. I'm running the Disfigured Ear add-on, which basically deafens survivors or drowns out their sound whenever they pop a phantasm, and I'm also increasing my phantasm set time. Forget the name of the add-on too. Sorry about that. The perks that I'm using is a full Hex build. It's Hex... Okay, sorry about this. Hex Ruin, so if they... it basically slows the game down. If they hit a good skill check, then it's minus 5% regression on generator. Perfect skill check, then it's 0. Devour Hope. Each token gives me a certain ability. At 3 tokens, I can one-shot. At 5 tokens, I can Mori. That's what's important. Haunted Grounds. If they pop this totem, which spawns as 2 totems, then then they all get afflicted with the exposed status effect for a certain amount of time. And then Hex Third Seal. For each one survivor that I hit, Hex Third Seal gets a token. For each token on Hex Third Seal, that survivor is afflicted with the blind status effect, which basically means that they can't see each other's auras. So that being said, let's jump into the game. Ooh, Backwater Swamp. Hag's map, which is lovely. Normally playing Hag, I wouldn't start off the game by going immediately to my totems and trapping them. Well, first of all, I don't normally play Hag, so that's funny, but secondly, I don't even do that even when I'm playing as Trapper. I don't care if the totem stands or if the totem falls. I'm more or less just trying to compensate for the time, basically, and the little amount of time that the totem will last. I am to at least down 1 to 2 survivors and get at least 1 survivor hooked. That's my main objective with Hex Ruin, and that's the only objective that I've ever had. I don't care about protecting the totem, but Hag, she's a totem protector, and survivors love to look for totems, so I can plot out my, especially with how many traps that she has, I can plot out my chases and at the same time protect my totems with all 9 traps. I'm saving 2 traps. There's a person right here. That should have hit. Maybe if I had held the lunge it would have hit, but we can still get her. And of course, she's gonna go down in 1 hit because of Haunted Grounds. So, I was looking for the basement on this map. That was a funny thing. During this game, I was actually looking for the basement, and I could not find it for the life of me. It wasn't until like mid-game that I realized the basement was on the boat the whole time. But for some odd reason, I couldn't see the horrors of the Hex until late game. I can't teleport to that trap, but I'm gonna go over there just in case. It's not anywhere near my totem, but just to be sure. I do see scratch marks. I'm gonna reset the trap here. Make sure no one's on the totem, and then let's just go away. That would be Hex Ruin, so that's 2 of my perks out the game. Place a trap right here. So with this first token, I get 2%. I get an extra 2% movement speed. No, it's with the second token. Yeah, it's with the second token. So with Hex Devour Hope, on 2 tokens, I get 2% to 3% movement speed or something like that. And then 3 tokens, I can one-shot them. And at 4 tokens, or no, 5 tokens, my bad. Because 4 tokens don't do anything, but at 5 tokens, I can mori them with my bare hands. While they're injured, or while they're in the dying state. I'm gonna set a trap right here, and I'm gonna leave. I heard Meg's cries of pain, but because she just came off of the hook, we want to play around DS. And if you're playing Killer on Dead by Daylight, make sure to remember that survivors have DS now, and it says that after they come off of the hook, they have 60 seconds to D-strike you, or you have 60 seconds to tunnel that survivor, and that survivor can D-strike you in any point in time of that 60 seconds. So you definitely don't want that to happen. You always want to play around it. Always. Unless you're sure that they don't have it. God, they're popping a lot of my traps, and there goes my second totem, now that I just realized it. Or no, my 3rd totem. Did they take out? I think they took out their seal, yeah. But my Devour Hope is still active. He's not playing this matchup smart. Nice 360. Nice. Alright, we should get him here. Just hold the lunge, that way he can't mind game it. Teleport over there to protect the trap. That should have been a guaranteed hit, but I let the heavy, I let my R2 fly out a little bit there. I shouldn't have. They should be popping that totem for free now. Keep Meg slugged, because again, I want to play around DS. And then, is this Meg? I think this is Meg. The other Meg anyway. She must have small game because all 4 of my perks got taken out early game. And she didn't see me on the other side of the parallel, apparently. Maybe that's because of how short Hag is. I can understand that, because Hag is literally so short that you can just barely see her, and she blends in with the background because of her gray figure. So I can understand that. Not too bad. We're doing really good right now, though. We're doing great. A lot of pressure. They took out all of my perks, so as far as this game goes, I am perkless for the rest of this game session, but we're still not doing bad at all. Her D-strike should be over, in theory, I believe, so we can go ahead and hook her. And I got stuck on that wall. So, okay, this is the funny thing, right? So I walked past the basement in this video, right? I completely walked past it, at least at this point. And that's when I realized that the basement was there. I'm gonna punish Bill. I think Bill is dead on hook. And there's no point in me going for the Meg that I just dropped, because if I pick her up again, then she's gonna wiggle for free, and that's too much time that I'll be stunned. So I think I'm gonna just grab the free hit here. Or I can hit her and not Steve. That's okay too. I guess you'll just have to sit on the ground. That was supposed to be a free hit. Is he gonna take it? Yeah. Also, why did he run? Why did you run away from the pallet? That was the one thing that confused me. Why did he run away from the pallet? Because had he not run away from that pallet, he actually would have extended the chase a lot longer and saved his teammates at least 2 heals. 2 full heals. So he's in the basement. We're going to set a trap at the top of the basement. And then we're going to set a trap at the entry points. And we should set another trap over here, the trap that he popped. And then we should be good to go. Don't want to stay there for too long. I don't want to lose too many points for being near his hook. I'm going to set a trap here next to the generator. I see Bill up there. He looks like he's going to get it done. Okay, funny thing. Had Bill committed to that generator, he would have probably got it done. Despite the fact that he probably would have died right after. So, smart decision? Bad decision? I don't know. I don't know what perks the Bill has personally, so I can't wait or risk. I can't wait the risk or the reward of that situation for him. But had he committed, he would have got it done. And I think Bill is dead here. Nice. We'll set a trap right here just in case they pop it. Of course you would. She really can't see me. Alright. Smack her away. Punish the basement a little bit. Put a little bit of pressure on them. I'm not going to tunnel Steve, but I am going to slug him. Keep one or the other busy. I heard someone Winter Vault, so I know that they're over here somewhere. She's still running. And she's still running. And she's still running. That's the one thing that I don't like. Is that a teabag? I think she threw down the pallet and teabag. If you guys watch this video and see that, can you let me know? Actually, because I think she teabagged. If I get her down, I'm going to DM her regardless, just because I thought during the game that she also teabagged. And that's what I wanted to happen. So, something very interesting is that something that survivors have to be aware of is if Hag sets a trap and let's say a survivor pops it, their camera auto aims and auto tracks to the Hag phantasm that popped up, regardless of whether or not the Hag player teleported to that phantasm or that trap. Their camera just auto aims or auto looks into that direction, which means that it can throw a survivor off course. Even the highest level survivor, it can throw them off course of their destination. So let's say they're heading towards a really strong pallet loop, and you have a trap that deters away from that pallet loop. Their camera's going to auto track to that popped trap, and that's going to be helpful because you could get a guaranteed hit, or you could have just delayed them a little bit. It kind of depends on how the survivor plays at that point. But definitely keep that in mind. Oh, they finally got their first generator done. And I called him out and going that direction. Okay, so a little bit of predictability here, but oh well. And that's the second generator. Just throw down a safe pallet. Why not? Sure. We just waste safe pallets now. Okay, so something interesting, right, is that with these structures, especially when it spawns like this, vaulting through the window will actually be a mistake. And this isn't something that just the Hag can punish. This is something that any killer can punish. Vaulting through that window or the windows at that particular loop are not good plays because it slows down the survivor and gives the killer time to catch up. if you got a killer that's chasing you, more than half of the time, the killer is going to be trying to dance around those objects or go around those objects than to just like rawly vault a window or whatever. I'm gonna get some extra points there. Oh, hello. Funniest thing is that I barely had to teleport most of this game. Barely, anyway. Alright, that's gonna be the game. GG's to the survivors in this video. I even sent them all a personal message after the game saying GG's, so. And with that, I'm going to head out. But before I go, there will definitely be more Dead by Daylight content for you guys, as I haven't really been putting up much lately for the channel. I still got quite a bit of time for Dead by Daylight content to catch up on, you know, for all those days and weeks that I missed due to school and stuff. So I definitely have you guys there, and there will be more content in terms of Bloodborne and Dark Souls now that I re-downloaded it back, and Evil Within in the future, so expect to see that. And with that, I'm out. Catch y'all later.